Hey everybody, welcome back to the OpenSauced live stream. Today is a special one. Not only is it our monthly contributor shoutout stream, but we're also going to be talking about the Maintainer Month kickoff. My name is Nick Taylor. I'm a senior software engineer at OpenSauced, and at OpenSauced, we're working to empower every contributor, maintainer, and team to reach their full potential in the open. And as always, I'm with my awesome coworker, Becca. Becca, do you want to intro yourself?
Yeah, hey, I'm Becca. I'm the developer experience lead at OpenSauce, and we do these contributor shoutouts at the end of every month. So this is actually for April, but today kicks off Maintainer Month. So we thought it would be fun to kind of join those two together, talk a little bit about some of our favorite maintainers and what we're going to be doing in the next month. We are going to recognize our contributors in the past month at OpenSauce who have made an impact in our repositories. We can't always get to everybody, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we cover a lot of different contributors. And you can always find out more about us and what we're doing at opensauce.pizza or by signing up for our newsletter or joining our Discord. You can find out more about the events that we have going now in those places, like we launched a waiting list for our new feature, which is Star Search. So we're going to take a second to kind of talk about that. Nick, you've worked a lot on Star Search over the past couple of weeks. Do you want to share what that's all about?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go ahead and just share my screen for a second here too, and you should be able to see that too, Becca. Um, let's come over here. So what is it? Essentially, let me go to the waitlist page, and I'm gonna share the waitlist in the chat if folks are interested in checking this out. Give me one sec here. There we go. Yeah, so basically think of Star Search as kind of like Copilot for Git history. And it's pretty interesting. I've worked mainly on the front end portion of stuff. But my coworker John McBride has worked on a lot of the back end, which is with the LLMs and OpenAI. But essentially, think of it like Copilot, where you can ask a question. So, like for example, here on the waitlist page, who worked on React Server components recently, and Star Search is able to give you a response. So these are some people like Seb Mark Boge, I think that's how you say his last name, who's one of the core team members of React, is one of the people working on that because makes kind of sense. It's in his wheelhouse. Evan Bacon as well, who works on Expo because he's exploring stuff. So it really is, that's what it is like you ask questions about Git history and you can actually get, I think, more meaningful results than like this stuff wouldn't get surfaced in like a chat GPT kind of thing. It's pretty exciting. It's still early days, but and apparently I'm number 45 on the list, even though I do have access because I'm on the core team. We're testing it out, obviously. But yeah, I encourage you to check out the wait list there if you want. And the I'm gonna go drop that in Twitter on the open source account, Becca, for a sec, because I can't do that from Restream. It doesn't allow. I don't think any of the platforms actually let you put messages on Twitter on like Twitter Live yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that there. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add to that, Becca, but my
Yeah, I
elevator
think
pitches are usually like more than 15 seconds. So.
No, it's great. There's lots of different ways that you can learn more about repositories, about the open source ecosystem, and contributors out there. So it's definitely going to be a cool thing to test out, and it offers something different that I don't think that you can get anywhere else. So we're really excited for this feature and how it's going to move forward with open sauce and really enhance and enrich all of the other things that we have done up to this point.
Yeah,
Um,
no, cool.
Yeah, so I dropped a couple of links in the chat. You can sign up for the waitlist now. Definitely share that with your friends. And I have those links, I guess, just kind of got stuck together. But check out opensauce.pizza, and you can sign up for our newsletter with that second link, which is news.opensauce.pizza portal and sign up. We're
Cool.
always doing kind of an update. We're upping the cadence of the newsletter. So we're going back to every other week with that. So you can find out tips about open source, what's going on in the open source world, and what we're doing at OpenSauced. And we've got some really big things coming up this month that maybe we'll talk a little bit more about later.
Yeah, just a few things. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. I'm gonna just switch us back to share my screen. And speaking of, shout outs, we're always appreciative of our contributors. I'm gonna drop a link to this. This is the um, this is in the workspace. I believe this is one of the contributor insights, Becca, that you created. Is that right?
Yep, this is all of the contributors for our repositories over the last month. So, and it excludes all of our uh, team at OpenSauce. So these are our external contributors, the folks who are volunteering their time to help make our project grow and get better. So
Okay.
we, like we said before, we can't shout out everyone, but if we look, at least share what they've done on the screen, and you can take a look at all of the great contributors we've had this month.
Awesome. Cool, cool. All right. So I guess, do you want to get into it? Like you said, we can't shout at everybody. It's not because we don't want to. It's just we have a bit of a time constraint. But yeah, it's super appreciative of everybody who's always contributing to the repository, and kind of kind of want to touch on something we always mention, Becca, which is like, it's great getting those green squares and getting code in, but it's not just that. It's like, it's opening issues, providing feedback in pull requests, comments in issues as well. These are things that I think, just because of, like, traditionally people always talk about the green squares, get overlooked, and they're actually super important. And I think in some cases, like, even more important than the code in a lot of cases, because, the code that gets written at the end of the day is based on this feedback, whether that's in the pull request or in the issues. So,
Yeah, do you wanna go ahead and show the grid view of that page just so we can take a look
oh, yeah,
at
yeah, sorry.
the the PRs that we see there? So, you can see that
Yeah.
these folks are contributing in a variety of places. We have a lot of folks who have contributed to the intro repository, and to the guest book, which
Hmm.
we'll mention a little bit later. But you can also, if you want to go to, Drinth,
Oh, yeah,
or anyone
Idrinth. Yeah,
there, you
yeah,
can kind of click the show the latest pull request, and you can see
yeah,
what he's been working on there and see that he has merged some things into our app repository, which is the first repository that we're going to be covering. So we can go ahead and actually pull up that repo page now. I also want to
yeah.
shout him out because he has been creating highlights on our highlights feed. We are very excited to share that we have hit 1,000 highlights at OpenSauced. And so we'll
Nice.
be doing some stuff around that, but a special shout out goes to Nikki T Online for being our 1,000th highlight.
Well, I couldn't have done it without the other 999 highlights that came before me. So thank you everybody for supporting me on hitting that 1K. It's can take that off my bucket list now. Can kind of, I think maybe I can retire now from the highlight game. Who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah.
Well, and
Were
I
you saying
know
you
we
want?
did say, I just wanted to say we did say that we would do a giveaway for the 1,000th highlight, but we're gonna find a way to still give away something. Nick, you already have merch, so we're not gonna send
Yeah,
you
yeah,
anything new. But we'll make that announcement over on X/Twitter,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. So you can follow us there and find out more information about that.
Cool, cool. Yeah, maybe we can make it the 999th person, or the 1,001th person. Or anyways, yeah, we'll get something out there. But yeah, no, it's great to, like, we talk a lot about, like, maintainer stuff, because, like, there's a lot of stuff going on there, but it's great to see people that are contributing to projects who might happen to be maintainers as well, just being really proud of, like, what the work they've been doing. And so, like, don't mind my face there, but you know, lots of folks like Monocode Lisa SD here is always posting a lot of stuff. They're very active in the Angular community. Um, got to give actually got to give a big shout out to Becky Rich here. She landed her first pull request to the open source app. I think it was yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. So anyways, that just happened to show in my feed. But lots of activity going on in the feed here, so feel free to check that out. Um,
Yeah,
um,
do you have the repository page up for, that would be the
yeah,
next link.
yeah, here we go. So the for the open source app.
Yeah, so you can see we have been pretty busy over the last 30 days. Shout out to everyone that's created a pull request, who has forked our repository, and or created an issue. It's all been really helpful. You can see though that chart there telling us that, hey, like we've got some stuff going on and we've been working on
Yeah,
big things. So really excited to be doing that and to have all of your support. And now we're going to talk a little bit about some of those issues and PRs.
cool. All right, let me just load these up here. Just give me a sec, Becca. Cool. All right. So, okay, this is the one I just mentioned that popped in the feed.
Yeah.
So, I'll just mention this briefly. So, this is actually Becky's first contribution as well to the open source app. So, kudos to your first PR to the repository as well. Um, there was basically she didn't have a pro account, so she couldn't show the before app. But there used to be a connections tab in here, and that's something that we might revisit in the future, but for now we're not using it. So she removed that from the UI, so big ups for that. Thanks, Becky. And I'll just kind of keep kind of firing them
Yep.
up here, Becca, if you wanna. I don't know if you want to speak to this one from Babel Bay.
This one was pretty huge. I think actually Chrissy may have created the initial issue for this one. But for our highlights, and this should be pretty big, this is probably what our promotion is going to be around, celebrating the 1000th highlight. But before, you could only post a blog post from Dev 2. And now
Hmm.
we've opened it up so everybody can whatever blog you have, you can put in there and that can be recognized as part of the highlights. So if it's your team
Oh, that's
blog, if
great.
it's your personal blog, we're really excited to be able to allow you to share more of the work that you're doing and not just on Dev2. So shout out to Chrissy for the issue. I know it was requested by some of the organizations we've been working with as well. And to Babel
Hmm.
Bay for getting that, sticking with it. Cause I know we went back and forth a couple of
Yeah,
times
yeah.
on how are we going to implement it? Is okay? Can we handle it? So he was very
Yeah.
gracious and patient with us through this experience, and we're very excited to see it come to life.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, to Becca's point, this was opened on January 30th, and it's May 1st now. Um, and this happens sometimes with pull requests. Don't get discouraged by this, but there was just like a lot of debate, and you know, like is this a good idea? How should we tackle it and stuff? So sometimes you got to stick it out for the long run. But thanks again for that, Babel Bay. Um, I'll load up the other one, Becca, and just give me a sec here. I don't know if you want to speak to this one from Fatuma as well. Um,
Yeah, so this is I one of the things I want to point out in this PR. She does a really good job of creating the PR description, but if you scroll down a little bit, she actually has a video to showcase the issue that
oh,
was
nice.
going on. So I'm not sure if it's super clear. If you can play that though, I want
Yeah,
to say anytime someone includes a video or a GIF or screenshots in the PR to show the changes they made, it makes our lives much easier. So like two thumbs up to having that in there and for getting this issue taken care of.
yeah, no, for sure. It should show up pretty clearly. I think I've got a
Yeah, it looks pretty
pretty
good on my end.
okay. All right, so just so you know, Fatuma, that was a good looking video. So just wanted to highlight that too. Okay, I can speak to this one briefly. So, um, it's kind of a funny name, but make the danger zone more dangerous.
Mhm.
So, danger zone in the context of like if we open this up here, You might have seen this on like GitHub or other sites you use. Somewhere it's like where you're gonna delete something. It's a destructive action, and I guess it didn't seem as dangerous as it implies in the title. So it got reworked to have like a red border, and then I think it said danger zone before. I can't remember, but if we look at it briefly,
It
but
was not very clear. I think John wrote the initial issue, and it was, like, one of my favorites because it was like, "The
yeah.
danger zone doesn't look dangerous enough." And I was like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If there's rocks falling, I want to know there's rocks falling. So, all right, cool. Uh, okay, cool. Let me just load up the other ones here. We're gonna go through a bunch of these, and then we'll shift gears to talk about Maintainer Month coming up. But let's just keep moving on here. And again, we can't cover everything. Um, I can speak to this one too. So this took a while. IU, I think this might be IU, who's awesome, who does a lot of work in the documentations team, which Becca can speak to. Um, I think this is her first code contribution to the open source app. I'm not positive about that. If it's
I think
not,
so.
it's like
Mhm.
it's her second one. I think it's her first though. Um, and basically, a lot of the text wasn't being truncated, and so you can see here it was kind of truncated, but it just didn't look that great. So she applied some Tailwind utility classes to get that sorted. So appreciate that. Um, cool. Let's go ahead, move to the next one, and I'll let you speak to this one, Becca. I don't know what it is, but
Is
eh,
this okay, this is one from Joe, who is also a member of Virtual Coffee, and actually, I think that's the organization, yeah, that he is the developer for, InReach.
mhm,
And so this is one of the issues that sometimes we run into, looking at the data and seeing whether or not it matches. And so
mhm.
it's good to be able to note these discrepancies. And so actually I'm gonna add a label to this. What is the label called? That nope, it's a milestone. I sorry.
Okay.
It just reminded me that I have a milestone for data discrepancies, and I think that this kind of falls under there. So
Okay.
Joe says that the star count on OpenSauce doesn't match the GitHub value. And then I also appreciated like the conversation that John added some context there so that when the next person, whoever is assigned this issue, is able to kind of understand the approach. So there's
Yeah.
a backend ETL job. He said that we've been running that scrapes GitHub API data on repos. So sometimes it gets backlog. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that we're going to have to take into consideration when we work on this. But we appreciate when people let us know that this is happening because sometimes it's hard to recognize or keep up with it.
For sure. And like it's great to get feedback because that means we know people are actually using our stuff. So uh obviously hopefully constructive feedback, but feedback is great whether something's not working or something is working. It's always appreciated. Okay. So this one I'm not too familiar with, and sorry if I'm moving my arms funny. I started a new workout program after post like arm injury, and my triceps are like concrete, so like I had trouble putting on my headphones. So if I'm moving like a robot, Becca, that's why. Um okay, so this is part of the onboarding, and um I'm not sure if you're familiar with this issue too. It looks
Mhm.
like they added the interest as part of the onboarding because you can do this in your profile. Um I didn't
Yeah.
review this one,
So
so yeah.
the suggestion is go beyond languages and your interests and to be able to say things like DevOps, developer productivity, SaaS, security, AI, etc. Um,
Okay.
and so, these issues, this might be implemented, it might not be implemented, but I thought it's
Okay.
useful to highlight. I don't know that we've ever highlighted Joshua on here before. But also it's good to know what people are interested in seeing. Like that kind of feedback helps
Yeah.
us to kind of think about like, okay, what do the users want? How are they engaging? How would they like to engage with our product? And so,
Yeah.
whether or not this gets implemented, I think that it's worth putting that information out there. Just like, Chrissy created the issue to say, like, it would be great if we could do other blog posts too. And It took a while, but it finally
Yeah.
happened.
No, that's awesome. I just opened up the YouTube chat because, like I said, we're using Restream, but I think because I was streaming on my own stream before, it was only showing stuff related to my own account. So I'm just all of a sudden I'm like nobody's commenting today, and I just opened up YouTube and there's like a there's like a huge influx of comments. So I'm just gonna leave the YouTube chat open, I think. Cool, cool, cool. Um, awesome. Let's move on to I think this is the next issue, except I just copy pasted it incorrectly. Let's just load that up here. Okay, so the recommendation card in the user profile redirects to the 404 page. Okay, so I think this was going to a valid like page not found, and this seems to have been sorted out. But again, this is super helpful. Like, somebody could just come by in the app and then they get the 404 page and just not say anything, but it's super helpful that I'm not sure how you say their handle, but Imskunaha maybe.
Leonardo
uh,
is their name.
okay, okay, that would help if I hovered over it. Yeah, Leonardo.
And that was their
And
first issue in OpenSauced.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so like, this is just super important. Like we wouldn't have known about this because like even though we're on the core team, like we're working on all kinds of things and we don't see everything. So this is super helpful and appreciative, and it looks like it got sorted out.
I think now it goes
Um,
to the repo page.
yeah, we can take a quick peek there. Okay, so B Dougie fixed it. So basically, yeah, it goes to the repo page. I think this might have happened when we changed, like when we created the repo pages and maybe we changed the URL maybe. I'm not sure, but
I don't think it was working
regardless.
before, or
Oh,
either
okay,
that or
okay.
it might not have been clickable, but the solution came with repo pages. So now that we implemented them, it will take you to the repo page where you can find out more about that repository. And then if you want to, you can also go to GitHub as well.
Okay, awesome. Cool. We're gonna move on to the docs repository, and I'll let you speak to these, Becca, because not because I don't like docs. It's just I haven't really worked in here recently, so
Yeah.
I imagine you're familiar with what's going on in here.
So I think that this is a new contributor to yeah, this is their first pull request in open source docs. And what I want to say is like I appreciate this because this user I don't know their Omkar, I think their name is, first opened up an issue on
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
car.
it's the hot repo and
Okay.
made the updates to fix it in the hot repo and then realized that the documentation was outdated and then fixed the docs. And so
Okay.
this wasn't just a one issue, one PR thing. It was
Okay.
four separate contributions, I would say, with two issues and two PRs. And it was really
Okay.
nice to see that follow through. Like, hey, I updated something on the application and so I
Hmm.
should probably make sure that that's updated in the docs as well, which is this totally would have been off my radar because I'm not in the
Yeah.
hot repository very much.
Yeah, same here. I've done like very minimal work in there, and it was like it was probably even before I was working at Open Source was when I was just contributing. But also, I just have to say, Amkar has Groot as his avatar, so I have to say I am Groot. I can't see a picture of Groot without saying I am Groot. So, or I could be sassy Groot. I am Groot. So, anyways, uh, I'm derailing the stream. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. Um, cool. I'll just load up the other one here, and cool. Um, yeah.
Okay,
So
yes.
this one,
So
yeah.
this is by Shabab. And let's see here. Issues. So this PR addresses two to-do items and 249, which I think is written by IU. It is written by IU.
Okay.
Um, who writes the best issues of all time. I just want to say that over and over again. Her issues are so thorough. And it was a good first issue. So it was really good to be able to see Shabab being able to take this on and to be able to follow things to make things Sorry, I looked at the chat and we've got a goat in there. I think that's a goat.
Yeah. It's supposed. it's a goat emoji, but when it posted it on YouTube, I'm looking at it right now, and okay, yeah, it's like a side angle goat. Uh, yeah, it's a goat. I was like after I posted, I'm like, I really hope I just posted a goat because if not, anyways, um, anyways, cool, cool.
Yeah, so this
Um,
gives a little bit more information. Issues with needs triage label are not available to take until the label is removed. So, this information is also worth mentioning in the docs, especially for people who are going through, they're reading the documentation, trying to figure it out. I know the dot take command is pretty unique, I think, to
yeah,
our ecosystem. And so, if you're not aware of that, then it can be a little confusing. So, this provides some clarification. It cleans up some things in the repository. And so, shout out to IU and Shabab for these contributions.
yeah, and I just wanted to mention one thing about it's not just the take action, but just issues in general. Just because I saw a few PRs. It's not throwing shade at anybody, but um, it, don't don't open up a PR until it one if it's not associated with an issue, and also if you do open up a PR, make sure you're assigned to the issue. And it's not because we don't appreciate that you put up a pull request. It's just there's a process. Somebody else could be working on it, and it could be you could end up doing the same work, and then like we can't accept it because somebody else is already assigned to it. So just wanted to mention that, just in general. um, cool. I think that covers it for the intro, sorry, the docs. I
Yeah.
know we got some in the intro repo. I'll just load these up here. I am a link posting machine, so all right, cool. I'll
Um,
let you speak for this one too, Becca.
so surprise, we're not we're just quietly announcing this. I didn't tell IU I was gonna announce it on the stream. This is
Just
gonna be part of
FYI,
So we had this PR merged in that required months of work, and I just couldn't wait to shout out IU for this. So we have quietly launched a course, but we are going to loudly launch it later this month. And
hmm
IU was instrumental in making sure that happened. And actually, Nick, I don't have a link for this, but can you go to intro.opensauced.pizza?
Yep.
So Nick actually helped with some of this, I think as well, because we revamped the styling a little bit to our course. So now we have the intro course for contributors, which we launched, and we have an intro for maintainers course. It looks a little bit different than it used to. We made some updates to make it more accessible for everyone. We're going to continue to make updates on this course as well. We're going to move it to either DocuSource or Starlight. So there will definitely be some issues, I think, open
Yeah.
when we go ahead and we do that.
Cool.
But for right now, I just wanted to share. It looks pretty, and there's lots of new stuff. And shout out to
Yeah.
IU for working really, really hard on this.
Yeah. And I
And,
think I don't know if
I also wanna say shout out to Jessica Wilkins because although Jessica is not included in this PR, we did a lot of work behind the scenes in a private repository. You can actually see
okay.
it. I just archived the repository, so it's public, but archived in the OpenSauced org.
Okay.
There's a lot of conversations that had to happen to move this forward and to kind of make decisions about the format and stuff like that. So Jessica was also
Okay.
hugely instrumental.
Cool. Awesome. And I don't know if the logo is the old logo before, but because we've been pushing the new logo across all our readmes and docs, I don't know if maybe you already had the new logo here, but
We did not.
looks nice.
No, and the
Okay.
challenge here too was, you can choose lighter dark mode, and so it wasn't just a simple switch for Doxify because
Okay.
we needed a logo that could be both on light and dark mode, and this is kind of we never had the logo in the sidebar before, so we
Okay.
moved it from the top to the side, and made some styling updates there.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Getting lost. Don't get lost in the sauce, people. Okay. Cool. We've got a few more for the intro repository. Um, So this looks like it was just fixing some wording, I believe. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's see. Um, a lot of the stuff that we have going on in the intro course is trying to consistently make things clearer and clearer. So we're always
Okay.
doing work to improve that. And I think that this was part of that. And I think the next one is as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, this is from Jenna. Yeah, I got Jenna's in virtual coffee too. But I actually Josh Goldberg, who we both know, introduced me to her, and she, I think she got her first open source app repository PR merged. I think it was last month. But she's continuing on in the docs as well, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, and again, this is making things clearer so our contributors are able to really follow along and understand like this is what it should look like.
Okay, cool, awesome. And I think we got one more in the
Um,
intro repo,
here, yeah.
and
One of the
then
issues that we consistently came upon was that people were missing filling out the issue template correctly. And so we wanted
okay,
to make sure that this was a little bit clearer. We added some styling to make sure that they were able to do that. And then this is going to like decrease the communication that we have to have as maintainers and say like, "Hey, you forgot this," because it makes it a little bit
okay,
more prominent. So that was actually,
yeah.
it not a lot of lines of contribution, but saves us a lot of time. So shout out to Hyman Tika for that.
Yeah, and I want to give it's not finished yet, but Hyman Tika is actually working on the take action. This is something an issue I opened up I think a couple months ago. It's something I wanted to tackle, but I just got busy with stuff. But for people who are first time contributors, we want to prevent people who have already contributed to the repository by take preventing them from taking an issue if they already have contributed. So that's something that Hyman Tika has in flight. I have to review it. I've just been pretty busy, so I'm gonna be looking at that next week. So it's in BDougie's under BDougie's account, but it's something we use throughout the org. So anyways, just wanted to mention that as a little
Yeah,
side
and,
tangents.
apologies. I think I said issue template, but it's a PR template. We have
Oh,
issue
okay.
forms and PR templates, but it was for the PR template.
Okay, cool. All right,
And then the
awesome.
last so I know for the guest book, I have a link there, but that's gonna take you to, our repository insight page. Most of the contributions on the guest book are for folks who are adding themselves to the, if you just wanna click on that contributors tab, Nick, we can see
Oh,
all of the, sorry. I
yeah,
put
no,
the wrong
I'm
link in the
clicking too
doc.
fast.
We can see the 13 people who have added themselves over the last 30 days. And that means they've
Hmm.
completed our intro course and they've created their first pull request. So for
Okay,
us, this
that's
is a
awesome.
lot of GitHub education people. We have partnered with them. We're partnering with them again starting next Monday at, I think, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'll be live
Okay,
streaming with them for 3 consecutive Mondays in May about not turnships. So I don't know if I'm
okay,
allowed to say what that is exactly, but there's your teaser. Check out GitHub
okay.
Education live stream. I'll be there the next 3 weeks.
I'm definitely intrigued by the term not turnship. So cool, cool.
PJ is
Uh,
the brains behind the title.
okay, yeah, yeah. I've never met PJ, but we're mutuals on X, Twitter, and we on LinkedIn. I know I PJ's been. I think he joined GitHub Education last fall. I can't remember when he joined. But
Um, yeah, he's not been there a year for sure.
okay.
So probably within the last, I don't know, 4 to 6 months.
Cool. I just wanted to drop you had a blog post link here for a blog post that IU put out on Dev2. So I just wanted to share it on the big screen. I'll drop it in the chat as well. I don't know if you want to speak to this real quick, Becca, or
Yeah, so I think a lot of the content that IU has been putting out has been really great and informed by all of the stuff that she's learned as a maintainer of open source projects. And she's really stellar at creating a welcoming space using documentation. And so this goes through, provides some tips. and an approach for how to develop that. So I know we have some other community members that have blog posts that will be coming out soon. And
Okay.
hopefully we'll be able to feature those in our next series. But this one was just released yesterday. So go give that
Okay.
a like, show it some love, leave a comment.
Yeah.
And we love it when you all write about OpenSauced. So it doesn't have to be on our blog. In fact, we would love to see your content on your own blog. Just tag us in it. And then we're happy
Hmm.
to share that in things like our newsletter, on our socials, and in all the places that we can, because it's just really great to feel that people are using our product, are enjoying it, and are willing to share that with other people. And that's one of like the top contributions that non-code contributions I think that you can
Hmm.
have, because awareness is such a huge part of having adoption of your open source product or project. And if you're not talking about it, then the adoption is not going to be as great. So sharing that
Yeah.
is just really special.
I know it's I know you said click on the likes or the reactions, but I just want to say smash that button. It's not a button, but it's just fun saying smash that like or anyways. I'm getting into the weeds here. Cool. I guess that kind of wraps things up for the contributor shoutouts. I know you wanted to talk about Maintainer Month as it's May 1st. I'll let you kind of do the intro to that because I know you've been working very closely with that, Becca.
Yeah, if you wanna pull up that, next link there under maintainer shout out. So, they're definitely maintainers that I wanna shout out. Everyone's been super kind in the last year and willing to do Twitter Spaces, so a lot of the folks that I would love to shout out are on this list, and they've answered questions, they've talked about what makes a successful open source project, they've exemplified what it means to be a good maintainer. And I know I've learned a lot from them. I know people in the chat have learned a lot from them as well,
Hmm.
because they've also answered questions like, how do you get started? How do you progress? How do you become a maintainer? And so hopefully
Yeah.
all of these spaces are helping to educate everyone. And we're going to continue to do the spaces through May. We're going to try and highlight at least one maintainer every
Okay.
Monday on dev. So if there's a maintainer you think that we should highlight, especially someone that exemplifies what you think a good maintainer of an open source project should look like, you can put
Hmm.
that in the chat right now and we'll grab that, or you can DM us, email us, let us know in some way, let us know on Discord. But we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're highlighting these people. So we'll be doing that on Mondays, along with the live streams with GitHub Education. And we also have a big week coming up for OpenSauced in a couple of weeks. May
Yeah.
20th, we have a big thing coming up. So I would say definitely stay tuned. We're going to put more information in the Discord about that. And we would love to be able to share that experience for you, because we're all also working really hard as maintainers. And I have a blog post that's going to come out. I didn't get it finished quite yet before we went live today, because I had some internet problems. But um,
Yeah.
there will be a blog post that will
Yeah.
be on our opensauce.pizza/blog. It'll eventually get cross posted to Dev2. And then the rest of the month, the content that we'll be putting out will be totally devoted to maintainers.
Cool, cool. I see you have a link to the next space. Was that the one with Luca, or
Oh,
is that this is an upcoming one?
no, this is our new space, the space that we have coming up. And give me 1 second and I'll tell you who it's with, because I don't think I put it in there.
Okay.
We will have a space with I believe Mark Sorofim, and I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. He is going to be talking about PyTorch/AO and CUDA mode. And
Okay.
also, along with him, we'll have two guests next time. We will also have Brendan O'Leary from Project Discovery. So I didn't have time to make the social card for that yet, but I will. And
Okay.
it's going to be a really great space talking about those projects. So that will be Tuesday. Nope. Yes. Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, the same time we've been doing it for the last however many weeks. And
Okay.
that will be again more ways to share what maintainers are doing and how they're impacting the open source environment.
Cool, cool. Awesome. Um, I think that's all the links that we had. There's yeah, the maintainer stream. That's what we're doing literally right now. Um, cool. Yeah, I can drop some links to OpenSauce again, and if folks are curious about Star Search, I'm just gonna drop that in the chat again. So this is the wait list. I encourage you to sign up. If you share it on socials, you have a better chance of getting earlier access. So you can feel free to share that wherever. Um, if you if you share it on LinkedIn, just tag us. If you share it on X/Twitter, it already tags us from the share button. Um, and anywhere else, just find us, I guess. Anything else you wanted to mention, Becca? Um,
I just want to say thanks to everybody out there who's contributing. Thanks to everyone who came today. It's been great to be a part of this community, and we'll see you next time.
cool, cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and yeah, be sure to check out. I dropped a link in there, but be sure to check out the next Twitter space. And thanks as always for hanging, Becca. And yeah, see you in the next one.
Stay
All right.
saucy.
Stay saucy.